Yo, 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 what's happening, guys? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Yeah, we've got a lot to discuss in this live stream today, so I hope you guys are ready. I want to go over why I've just taken this setup right now instead of actually waiting to take out Friday's lows. So I'll speak about Eigen. I want to speak about October. I honestly think that it could be a really bullish month for the markets, especially for Bitcoin, and also want to speak about where we're going to be going for this week, right? There's a lot of news this week as well, right? So there's a whole bunch of news events that are happening this week. So I want to speak about pretty much everything that we're going to go over this week, okay? So I want to go over setups. I want to go over why I think October is going to be a big month. I want to speak about, if we're going to get a potential move to the upside this week, which is what I've been waiting for, right? I haven't really been taking shorts throughout last week, which is probably I should have. But I was convinced that structure was going to hold. As you can see, most coins are actually holding structure, right? Like we discussed. So let's get straight into it. Okay. Hope you bought some Avo. I actually did. I actually did buy some, bro. I think it was you who told me about it, right? This thing absolutely ripped. We'll speak about that. Yeah, it was pretty insane. But we'll go over that. So first of all, I just want to speak about my trade right now that I've posted in the Telegram group, right? I want to speak about why I took this trade, and the reason why I took this trade was mainly because of the weekly time frame. Do you guys remember last week? We tried to enter this trade, and then we kind of just closed it at break even because it wasn't really doing anything, right? It wasn't really doing anything. But we did get a 4-hour breakout, which is what I saw now. We got a 4-hour breakout and we are holding resistance, right? So I don't think we are going to take out Friday's lows, right? So I was expecting to see like a sweep of this low over here. But I just don't think we're gonna get it because we're still holding structure, right? So I did actually just enter the trade now, pretty much at current price. These are the TPs. We're looking at 2.062, 2.512, and then 2.99, right? Just pretty much a swing trade, right? It's a weekly time frame trade, so don't go high leverage here because our stop loss is around about 5%. So I did a 3x leverage. So essentially, I'm prepared to lose 15% on this trade, but I'm willing to gain 6, 12, 18, around about 7, 14, 21, 210% on this trade, right? So yeah, it's going to be a swing trade. I do think Eigen's almost ready here, guys. It's almost ready to explode. On the 4-hour time frame, looking super good. So this trade's still valid if you guys want to take it. And I'm afraid to say we did miss XRP as well. Do you guys remember yesterday I spoke about XRP, and I said if we close a 4-hour time frame above this level here, then I was going to look for a long, right? And I didn't actually, for some reason my alert didn't go off. But yeah, it pretty much, can you see how we broke above here, literally closed respecting, and we continued higher, right? So XRP looks super good this week as well. I did buy some spot. Remember last week I told you guys as well that as long as XRP holds this daily support over here, right? As long as we hold this daily support, we should be okay, right? So I did buy some for spot, but in terms of futures trading, we did actually just miss it. I'll be honest with you, we missed the setup. This would have been your entry right over here, right? And that's exactly what I was waiting for. You remember on the weekend, I literally told you guys this is exactly what we're waiting for. TP would be at these highs. You just put your stop loss just below these lows here. So pity we didn't get involved there, but we are on Eigen, so I do think Eigen's gonna play out this week. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the market this week. Are you guys bullish or bearish? What's happening with your mindset? I think it's looking quite decent for longs, right? It depends on what tokens you're looking at, but it's looking more like we are holding supports. It's looking like price is most probably just going to get that bounce because we had quite a shit week last week, right? If we look at the monthly, let's actually just look at the weekly, right? So the weekly from last week wasn't that great, right? You have tokens that are down like 11%, like Solana. Dogecoin was down 10%. You have Cardano, it's down. You have a lot of coins that are down, quite substantially from last week, right? So yeah, I think there's time for a bounce. And some charts, especially like Eigen and XRP, these are the and DOT, guys. I'm waiting for DOT as well, right? I want to speak about DOTs because if we look at DOTs, basically. Very, very interesting. Oh, have a look. DOT's almost ready. I'll be honest with you guys. DOT is almost ready here. And the reason why it's almost ready is basically what I was waiting for DOTs is if we look at DOT on the daily time frame, let me just remove all of this quickly. if we look at DOT on the daily time frame, okay, you can see that basically, have a look over here. So the price was pretty much moving in this, pretty much just respecting these lows, right? You know, holding trend. Then what happened is I was saying I'm only interested in shorts for DOT if and only if, right? Let me just go back here. I'm only interested in shorts for DOT if and only if price closes below this low over here, right? Because this is the structure that needs to be held, right? So because we didn't close below there, the shorts aren't valid, right? But what actually happened is we closed back above this bullish fair value gap over here, right? So I'm interested in the longs for DOTs there. I'll be honest with you guys. DOT is looking super good. You know, we took out these lows. You know, this is just looking super good for Polkadot right over here. So I'm very interested in taking some longs there for DOT. And essentially, what I was saying is I want this candle to flip bullish, right? Because essentially, when you're thinking about trading, right? If you're looking for long positions, what do you want to happen in order for price to continue going higher, right? You want to see price create like a bottom wick in order to grab liquidity and then flip bullish, right? So that's exactly what I'm waiting for here, right? So I'm waiting for this daily candle to actually flip bullish, and then I'll take the trade based on that, and we can TP at these highs over here, or even a little bit higher back to the left hand side. You can see there's a lot of resistance sitting around about these levels, right? So essentially, what I'm waiting for here is I'm just waiting for this current candle to flip bullish, put stop loss below that low, and then TPs at these highs. Okay. So the reason why I'm not interested in taking it right now is because we haven't flipped bullish yet, and there is a possibility of this to carry on going down, right? So I just want this daily candle to flip bullish here, then we take the longs. Very simple, okay? So that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. You can see the 4-hour time frame looking super juicy right now, and you can see we did break structure, right? So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you know, you have a lower high, lower here, and essentially we broke both lower highs over here. So this is your change of character, and now you have a retracement looking for continuation to the upside. So Polkadot is almost ready for quite a decent long over here, guys. So this is another trade that I'll probably look at today. I mean, it's definitely today. Have a look at that as well. We did get like a 15-minute breakout as well, but I'm more interested in just taking this on the daily, right? Because have a look at the daily. The daily looks super juicy, right? So yeah, I'm gonna take this on the daily, and our stop loss is only like 2.3%. TPs is around 7%, so it's a nice risk to reward. It's a good setup. Okay. So I'll let you know, obviously in the Telegram we'll take that. I took the trade, but Dylan, I'm curious to ask, why don't you take RSRs in account before entering a trade? RSRs? Yeah, I've never used RSR. I used to use RSRs. I just think it's a lagging indicator. Like if I had to use RSR right now, it's probably what for Argan I'm pretty sure you're looking at. So like if we go to Argan, yeah, what does this even tell you? Like RSIs, I mean, if you look at the weekly, the RSI looks kind of good, no? If you look at the daily, the RSI, it's a lagging indicator. I just don't see how. I've never traded RSIs before. I use it sometimes for bullish and bearish divergence, but that's like long ago. Like if you look at the RSI now, this is looking super good for a long, basically just based on the RSI, because you know it's holding, you know, it's making high highs over here. Although we did make like a lower high over here. You know, this could be seen as like a bearish divergence or something, but it's already played out. So yeah, I just don't RSIs. I mean, MACD, RSI, all these indicators just don't, for me, they just don't work. It's like it's a lagging indicator. If I put the MACD over here, I mean, I used to use this back in the day when I was learning how to trade, but it's just like, look at the MACD looking terrible, right? You know, it's flipping bearish here. You know, but essentially this can still come up like this. So the problem with the MACDs and all these things, you know, you could have something like this where it's coming down and then it looks bearish and then you see it like a massive spike, right? And then you enter short. So these things just, they play with your mind. Like I just don't use this at all. MACDs and RSIs. You can use the stochastic. I think a lot of people use the stock RSI. This is more better in terms of like for resets, right? If you look at for like the weekly and the daily. The problem with all these indicators, I believe, like, so my strategy is just based on, you know, what levels, like where we're reacting at and where are these levels, right? So the problem with using all of these indicators, it just messes with your mindset in terms of like why you're taking the trade. So it creates a lot of different like fake confidences. So I never use it. I personally think that indicators are a scam. I'll be honest with you. I think just using price action, like that's why Elliott Wave works so well, because it's just based on price action, right? It's based on like key levels, and also my strategy. I've never really used. I hate using indicators because it just messes with your psychology and all of that. But yeah, it's honestly, yeah, it's up to you. Check SPX. Yeah, the stock RSI is a good indicator. Yeah, I mean the stock RSI is more good for spot, right? So like, but if you just look at if you look at Argan here, generally on the weekly time frame, there's only one, like this is the only level that we can potentially bounce at, right? Although this is looking like a double top, we did get a nice weekly close, and you know what's nice is that we haven't created a top wick, right? So my whole thing with trading is you want to see price create bottom and top wicks in order for price to get those moves, right? Because trading doesn't just go up, right? You need price to come down, grab liquidity, and then go up, right? So this is your liquidity grab, right? You're grabbing liquidity at these levels, and you can see on the weekly candle we haven't even created a top wick as well. So there's a potential for this weekly candle to actually flip bullish, take out these highs to the left, and then get that push higher, right? So yeah, it looks super good. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll see. This is a 3x leverage, guys, so it's nothing crazy. We're only going to lose 15% if it hits our stop loss, so we should be good. This token, I'm also looking at Bearer, guys. So Bearer actually broke out, Bearer chain. I don't know if you guys know this token, but essentially, guys, this broke out on the daily. We broke this previous high, so I'm looking at potential longs for Bearer. The problem is right now, it's just I want to see the 4-hour time frame. You can see if you look at the 1 hour, actually, let's have a look. It's a little bit choppy, right? I want to see like a more of a breakout being formed over here. So essentially, what I want to see is, you see there's this bearish fair value gap sitting right over here. Essentially, that's what's holding price right now. So I want to see price just get above this zone on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. So essentially, you can see how we're holding these two levels over here. I just want to see price just get above this zone over here, and then I'll look to enter longs for a quick breakout trade, right? This will be a super quick trade because let me just find some levels for TPs. See, the thing is with trading on a Monday and also like any other day, actually it doesn't really matter, but you have your TPs to the left hand side, right? Your TPs are just basically liquidity zones, right, where people are shorting. So this would be one over here. You'll have a potential TP even here. Let's just move that a bit higher, yeah. Okay, so essentially these would be your key levels. So I mean, this TP here is a bit low, but essentially what I'll do is, if we see a 50-minute candle close above this level here, I'll enter this trade, and I'll put my stop just below this low over here, and then TP. This won't be a TP here. This would just be your breakout point, I guess. And then you're looking at a 16% move here. I'd probably just add manual TPs to this when it comes to it, right? But yeah, this is a trade that I'm looking at on the 50-minute time frame, right? Remember the Argan trade, this is on the weekly and the daily time frame. So these trades tend to, they'll take a little bit longer to play out, right? Whereas the Bearer one will be a little bit quicker. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at for the day. We'll see what happens though. I do think that, we're coming to a close here. You can see also here, I think Polkadot's almost ready here, guys. Once this candle flips bullish here, I'm just going to enter at market price. So I'll let you know though. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling good. I think SPX is breaking out to finish the 5th wave down and ready to go up. Let's have a look at SPX. That'll be interesting. I think I have it here. I actually looked at it this morning. Yeah, this is... So let's have a look at SPX here. This will be interesting. Alright, so let's have a look at SPX. Let's have a look at the weekly, and then we'll go down to the daily and see what's happening. So, what I like about SPX here is it's still holding this level here, right? Have a look at this, right? You have this support over here. This is looking like a huge head and shoulders pattern, but like, the odds of that actually playing out is not substantial. The only thing that I'd probably be concerned about is, okay, you can look for a potential move here, but I would like to see, similar to XRP, right? If we go back to XRP, you know how we broke that previous high, then you look for price to continue higher. So if you look at SPX, it's similar to that in a way, right? So if you look at the daily, I would want to see price starts, breaking above this level, because if you guys have been watching me for a while, I'm all about confirmation, right? I want to see price. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you look at even on the 4-hour time frame for this, this is just looking like a breakout, right? If we honestly, this is looking good. This is looking super good. What I'd want to see here on the 4-hour time frame to enter this. I actually like what you're looking at here. I would want to see price just get above this level here, and then we could look to TP at these highs. This would be a good setup on the 4 hours. So you still got 3 hours left until this candle closes. But if we can somehow close and break above this level here, that would be amazing, right? And then we can look for continuation to the upside, okay? And you can just put your stops below that low. So the key breakout point would just be here, right? 1.0099, okay? So I'd want to see price take out this bearish gap over here. Obviously, there's support over here, so getting above there would be great, right? So I'll just wait for that. And that's also a breakout, right? So that's also a trend line breakout, and we can look to TP at those highs. So it looks super good. Yeah, I see exactly what you're looking at as well. So looks good. But in terms of the daily time frame, for continuation, we would need to see price at the daily candle close above that high. So essentially, let's just say we took this trade on the 4-hour time frame. What I'd want to do is I'll probably TP a little bit at this high, and then I'll just go break even at that point, because the problem is, if we can break above this level here, then SPX has a huge breakout potential, right? You can even look in the daily time frame here. You can see if we just bring this trend line over here from this move, you can get an explosive move to the upside. So, if you put a 5x leverage on this, or like a 10x leverage, and you continue holding to like these highs, you're looking at like 126%, 1,260% gain on this trade, right? So yeah, let's see what happens. But I'm very interested in the 4-hour time frame. I see exactly what you're looking at. So we'll see what happens. It'll be super interesting though. It'll be super interesting. Okay, so this is looking super good. We'll see what happens. So basically just an eigen right now, waiting for Polkadot as well. WorldCoin as well, guys. Did you guys buy some WorldCoin? I bought some WorldCoin yesterday. Honestly, WorldCoin is also one of the tokens that I wanted to speak about in this live stream, because WorldCoin did get a weekly breakout and a weekly retest, right? Essentially this is looking super juicy, right? Retesting this level here, the buy zone. I did buy some in spots, because I still think, buying at $1, you can, that's 200% share, that's 600% share, that's almost 1,000% gain just on 0x leverage, right? So just on spot. So the buy zone is super juicy. I think WorldCoin is ready. We also did get a 4-hour breakout here. Have a look over here. We did actually indeed get a 4-hour breakout. So we'll see what happens. I will monitor WorldCoin for a futures trade for the day and for the week. But in terms of spots, I think it's super juicy, guys. I think it's super juicy. So looks super good. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at for WorldCoin. We also have to keep in mind, guys, that October is obviously a bullish month, right? On average, 21% for the month. Okay, average returns for Bitcoin 21% on the month, right? And that's basically, think about it. If Bitcoin dominance dumps super hard, then this number over here, 21%, or last year's 10%, in terms of altcoins, it would be a lot higher, right? Because if Bitcoin dominance goes down, then altcoins will tend to pump harder. So I think October is going to be a good month, guys. I know a lot of people say October, but just looking historically, guys, we've only had 2 bearish months in October. Okay, so obviously just trade what charts are looking at. Don't just trade based on just this data, but this data does have a bit of confluence. It has historical data. It's like trading, right? You're trading based on what previous price actions have done, right? Same thing with looking at this. You can potentially just look at that. Some people just trade the fiat and green index as well, right? And then obviously if we look at Bitcoin today, we do have liquidity a bit higher here. We have 112,900, but we also have liquidity a little bit lower. I do think it's possible for us to take out the highs as well. So looking quite decent today for the market. I'll be honest with you, not looking too bad. I'm more interested in longs. That's why last week I didn't actually enter any shorts, because when the market's looking like this, so for Altcoin, why would you enter a short when you're holding support and you broke out of a trend? So like my whole thing last week was I'm not going to take shorts, although the market did dump quite a lot. There was a lot of tokens and it was looking like a fake breakdown, right? It was looking like it was trying to trap a lot of people. So I don't want to hold a short that I can potentially just get stopped out at, right? I'd rather look for a long where I could potentially play the long and then hold that going into the massive pump, right? That's kind of how you want to play it. Well, that's kind of like my mentality when I'm taking a trade, right? I want to be potentially holding a trade for as long as possible to get maximum potential out of that trade, right? Obviously by managing risk, by, moving stop loss to entry and all of that stuff. But, you want to try and maximize upside and downside potential, right? So that's why I didn't actually take trades last week. Okay. So we got XPX waiting for that. Argon, we entered pretty much at break even, and Wolcoin, bars definitely valid, right? So, and then Polkadot is also on the table today, guys. Polkadot's definitely on the table. You don't want to be sleeping on Polkadot. I honestly think that Polkadot's going to pump super hard, yeah. I just have a feeling, yeah. Why is there... I don't know what happened to my... I don't know what happened to all the drawings. It seems like it just went away. Oh, there we go. Okay, so guys, Polkadot's looking super pumpy here. On the daily, I'm honestly interested in taking this on a low leverage, looking to take out this high over here for Polkadot. We literally just flip bullish right now. I'm actually I'm gonna take this. I'll post it in the Telegram here. Low leverage longs here, guys. Give me 1 second. I just need to post this. I'll turn the music up for a bit. But yeah, Polkadot looks super good. Yeah, TPs are gonna be. Let's have a look here. We've just flipped bullish. Yeah. Probably just gonna only go for 2 TPs, yeah. I'm only gonna go for 2 TPs, yeah. Yeah. I'm taking this long 3x leverage here, guys. Or you can go for 5x because the stop loss is 2.5%. So if you times that by your leverage, you're gonna get how much you're gonna lose on the trade. It depends on like how you guys manage your risk. You could even go high leverage and whatever. Just make sure you guys are risking the money that you can afford to lose on the trade, right? So honestly, you guys can't tell me this doesn't look good. Like we just broke out, daily candles flipping bullish. All right, so I'm gonna jump into this long here. I'm gonna post it in the group. Could you go back to Argon? Argon looks good in my opinion. High leverage, lower margin. Yeah, you can also do that, right? You can go lower margin, high leverage. It honestly doesn't even matter, right? It literally doesn't even matter. And then we just post this setup. Just give it 1 second. I'll go back to Argon. We can just put them both on the same page here. Whoopsie. We can just put them both on the same page here. Yeah, it honestly doesn't matter. Like if you go high leverage, low margin, it's pretty much the same thing. It depends on like if you're risking the same amount, right? So the Argon setup, we're already in this trade, right? It's just a breakout retest of the previous trend, and Polkadot is just a pretty much just a breakout. Okay. Let me just give me 1 second, guys. I need to post the setup, so give it a second. I'll put the music up. I'll replay this song. Right. Yeah. So basically, guys, the setup, your first TP is gonna be here. It's gonna just be at this high over here. Your next TP is just gonna be at this level here. Okay. For Polkadot. Then for Argan, this is a longer time frame trade, right? For Argan, guys. So we took this based on the weekly time frame, but it's also we took it on the 4-hour time frame as well, right? But in terms of TPs, it's based on the weekly. Okay. So your first TP for Argan, you can hold this for as long as possible. I'm gonna try to hold this for as long as possible until I think Argan probably tops out at $3 anyway. But in terms of just like holding this, you can look to TP1 over here. I honestly think that what's gonna happen is we're gonna come over here, potentially come back down to even break even, and then we get that push higher. So what you could look at is I'm gonna TP most over here and then just move stop loss just a little bit lower here. If this plays out, obviously, this is obviously if it actually plays out, but I'm not gonna actually go break even on this trade. And the reason why I say that is because what I've seen in my past setups is we get a beautiful setup and then we hit TP1, we come down, and it always most times always comes back to break even, and then we see the explosive move, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna move my stops just below this wick over here, and then hold for TP2 and all of that. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Dylan, what's the time frame that you usually look for trading? Jelly looks ready to nuke. I'll have a look at Jelly. What is the time frame you usually look for trading? 1 hour, 4 hour? It honestly depends. Like I'm more of a scalp trader. Like I normally like 15 minutes. But when a chart's looking super good on the weekly time frame, then especially for like Argan, right? When it's looking really good on the weekly and the daily, then I'm willing to trade on the 4 hour time frame, right? The setup was taken on the 4 hour, but it's also taken on the weekly, right? And then if we look at what's it called? If we look at what is it called? Bearer chain, yeah, Bearer chain. So similar setup, right, for Bearer, right? So if we look at Bearer, this is on the 15 minute, because Bearer has already shown a lot of upside potential. We've really seen a breakout. So what I want to see is just a 50-minute close above this level, right? So I don't need confirmation like I got for Argan, where Bearer has already got it, if that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, it's very situational. It depends on what the chart's doing and like, if there's actual upside potential or not, right? And then also SPX is looking good, right? So there's a lot of tokens right now. If SPX can break out, we spoke about this in the beginning, but if SPX can break out here on the 4 hour time frame, right, that's why it's important to wait for this candle to close, right? So it's super important for me to wait for this candle to close above this level here, and then we get the confirmation, right? So this is on the 4 hour time frame, right? I want to see price close above there, right? So we still have 2 hours 47 minutes until that happens. So it's about being patient, okay? It's about waiting for it actually to play out, right? Because the thing is, if I were to take SPX right now, okay, cool, yeah, it looks like it can go up, but the problem is we don't have confirmation. Like my confirmation that this is going to go higher would be because a lot of people are selling within this zone, right? You can see there's a lot of selling pressure within this zone, okay? If we had to look at the liquidity levels, it will show you the exact same thing. People are selling within this level, right? So I want to see price take out this level here, and this will flip to a long bias, right? Because we're also getting a trend line breakout, and we also are forming these higher lows. So this would be your new high, right? So I want to see price obviously take out that level. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at for the day. Let's see what happens, guys. I do think that next month is going to be a good month for crypto in general. I do think it's going to be a good month for crypto in general. We're still obviously waiting for like total 3. Let's have a look at total 3 before I jump off here. So total 3, I was looking at total 3 actually coming down a little bit lower. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping that total 3 could potentially come down to like 1.01 trillion. But yeah, you can see we're back at resistance. So what I'd want to see today in terms of long bias, right? In terms of long bias, I would want to see price. I would love to see the daily candle close above this level here. If we can start closing, I would actually just say, yeah, it's above this level. I would want to see price get it back above the trend. I would want to see price start closing back above this level here, because this also just looks like a daily retest for price to come down lower, right? So you also have to keep that in mind. But when some charts are looking good, then it's you have to just go for it, right? So yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching. It was a pretty short live, but I think a lot of value within the setup. Argan, I do think that this will play out on the weekly time frame. The 4 hour time frame looks super good as well. So we'll see what happens. Basically, these are your TPs. I put them in the Telegram group. You know, we did try long Argon last week, and yeah, we ended up just closing basically at break even, because it just the last week price action just was quite bearish, and Argon was more of just a chop fest, right? So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you guys tomorrow live stream. And also, if you guys do have any questions, just